Nutrition for People with Diabetes, Part 2, Essentials. I'm Christine McKinney, a registered dietitian, nutritionist, and certified diabetes educator with Johns Hopkins Medicine. Let's talk about essential nutrients. Our bodies can't make all of the substances it needs to function. We need a diverse supply of nutrients. Food and water deliver those essential nutrients. Food is made up of macronutrients, micronutrients, and water. When we eat, we often eat a combination of these nutrients. During our time today, we are focusing on macronutrients, which are carbohydrates, protein, and fat. Micronutrients are vitamins and minerals that have unique roles in different body processes. Water makes up 45 to 75% of your body weight. Water works in the body to flush out toxins, remove waste, keep joints lubricated, control body temperature, and carry nutrients to the places they are needed. We need all of these nutrients daily. Next, I want to talk in detail about the food groups and which foods raise glucose. Carbohydrates are our body's main source of energy. Carbohydrates include sugars, starches, and fiber. Carbohydrates turn into glucose, cause blood glucose to rise quickly and even more quickly when consumed in a liquid form. Think about the difference between drinking apple juice or eating an apple. Apple juice will cause glucose to rise more quickly than eating an apple. It's important to know that you can and should still eat carbohydrates. Divide them between your meals and snacks to help control glucose, because eating a lot of carbohydrates at one time will cause glucose to spike. Carbohydrates are found in all grains, beans, vegetables, fruits, and milk and yogurt. The amount of carbohydrates within these groups varies. Because the amount of food you eat matters, I want to talk about general portions of carbohydrates, starting with starches. People measure carbohydrates in different ways. One way to do this is with a plate or measuring cups. Because the serving size is small for starches, think about limiting these foods to 1/4 of your plate or less than 1 cup at a meal. Starches include foods such as cereal, bread, grains, including rice and pasta, starchy vegetables such as potatoes, corn, and green peas, and legumes, which includes beans, lentils, and peas. Use measuring cups to control portions. If you are estimating the portion size, 1/2 of a cup is about the size of your hand when cupped. Choose whole grains more often. Whole grains contain more nutrients and fiber than processed grains. Eating more whole grains may help to reduce the risk of heart disease, weight management, and improve blood glucose levels. Look for 100% whole grain on the nutrition label, or look for the whole grain stamp. There are some small changes you can make to include more whole grains. Try switching to 100% whole grain bread, crackers, or pasta. Try a whole grain cereal or oatmeal. Try brown rice or 100% whole grain pasta. Add quinoa, wild rice, or barley to soups, salads, and other mixed dishes. Some people want to measure carbohydrates in more specific ways, and this includes either carb choices or counting grams of total carbs. Carb choices describes the amount of food within a group of similar foods. One carb choice is considered 1 serving of carb and is equal to 15 grams of carb. So, for the starch group, 1 carb choice, or 15 grams of carb, is 1 slice of bread, 1/2 of an English muffin, 6 saltine-type crackers, 3/4 cup unsweetened dry cereal, 1/2 cup cooked cereal such as oatmeal or grits, 1/3 cup rice or pasta, 1/2 cup beans, lentils, peas, corn, or mashed potatoes, or 1 small potato. These carb choices are small serving sizes, and your meal doesn't have to be limited to 1 carb choice or 15 grams of carb. This is a guide to help you understand how many carbs you are having. Let's look at pasta as an example. If 1/3 cup of pasta is 1 carb choice or 15 grams of carb, then 1 cup of pasta is 3 carb choices or 45 grams of carb. Think about a portion of 3 cups of pasta. That equals 9 carb choices or 135 grams of carb. Carb choices are a way to estimate carb intake according to serving size and grams of carb. I will also cover more precise carb counting by reading labels in part 3 of this talk. All fruit contains carbohydrates. Fruit is a healthy choice and should still be included in your daily eating plan. Think about eating 1 to 2 cups of fruit or 1 to 2 small pieces of fruit each day. As a reference for size, 1 cup is about the size of your fist or a tennis ball. Enjoy fruit as a healthy snack or as a side to a meal. Limit juice intake to 4 ounces or less each day. Juice contains almost no fiber, and remember, liquid raises blood glucose more quickly. Choose whole fruit instead of fruit juice. When grocery shopping, choose fresh fruits in the produce section. Purchase small, whole fruits instead of large pieces of fruit. If buying frozen fruit, read the label and make sure it doesn't have any added sugar. If you are buying canned fruit, look on the label for 100% juice or no added sugar instead of syrup. Just like we did for the starch list, you can use carb choices or count grams of carb for fruit. 1 carb choice, or 15 grams of carb, is 1 small piece of fresh fruit, 1/2 cup unsweetened canned fruit, 2 tablespoons dried fruit, 1 cup melon or berries, 17 small grapes, or 1/2 cup fruit juice. Some fruit on the list is measured by weight. The weight includes the skin, core, or seeds. If you are counting grams of carb, use a food scale and weigh fresh fruit. Milk and yogurt contain carbohydrates. Milk has natural sugar lactose, so milk and yogurt raise blood glucose levels. These are both still important to include in your daily eating plan. Milk is a good source of protein, calcium, and vitamin D. Low-fat milk, skim or 1%, is usually a good choice, but the percent fat milk you choose depends on how much you drink and the fat in your overall diet. Non-dairy milks include almond, coconut, flax, soy, pea, cashew, oat, rice, and sunflower. There are a lot of varieties, and it's best to choose the unsweetened versions. Yogurt is a good source of protein, calcium, vitamin D, and probiotics. We have good and bad bacteria in our gut. Probiotics are the good guys, the beneficial bacteria and yeast found in your digestive system. The benefits of probiotics include improved immune system function, decreased inflammation, decreased cholesterol, increased nutrient absorption, reduced symptoms of lactose intolerance, and treatment for diarrhea. Having a healthy gut and eating probiotic-containing foods may help with glucose control. Greek yogurt contains more protein and fewer carbs than other types of yogurt. Yogurt often has added sugar, and usually fruit on the bottom is an indicator of added sugar. Yogurt can be purchased in individual portions, which is great for portion control and easy snacks. Again, just like the starch list and the fruit list, you can count 1 cup of milk or 6 ounces yogurt as 1 carb choice. 1 cup of milk is technically 12 grams of carb, not 15. The amount of carbohydrates doesn't change with the percent fat of milk. The calories, fat, and cholesterol are lower in low-fat or fat-free milk. There is a large variety of yogurts on the market, and carb content varies. Read food labels for total carbohydrates in yogurt. Sweets and desserts contain sugar, which means they are considered carbohydrates. People who have diabetes can still eat some sweets in small portions, but sweets shouldn't be an everyday food. These foods are high in sugar and lacking other healthy nutrients like fiber, protein, vitamins, and minerals. Desserts or sweets usually raise glucose quickly. In general, for desserts or sweets, 1 carb choice, or 15 grams of carb, is 1/2 cup ice cream or frozen yogurt, 2 small cookies, 1 tablespoon syrup, jam, jelly, or table sugar, or honey, a small piece of unfrosted cake or brownie, or 1/2 cup sugar-free pudding. Vegetables without starch or non-starchy vegetables include all vegetables but corn, peas, potatoes, and winter squash, which are all the starchy vegetables. Vegetables contain phytonutrients you can only get from plants that have important roles in our body. Some phytonutrients can help with blood glucose control and lower cholesterol and blood pressure. Vegetables are the food group you can always have more of. Vegetables do contain a small amount of carbs. In general, they have 5 grams of carb per 1/2 cup cooked or 1 cup raw. So 1 cup of cooked broccoli is 10 grams of carb, or 3 cups of salad is 15 grams of carb. If you aren't carb counting, think of vegetables without starch as a free food. Aim for at least 3 cups non-starchy vegetables each day. Non-starchy vegetables should take up 1/2 of your plate at most meals. When grocery shopping, look for vegetables in the produce section. Choose different colored vegetables to increase nutrient intake. If you are buying frozen vegetables, look for vegetables without added sauces or gravies. If you are buying canned vegetables, read food labels for low sodium or no salt added options. Because vegetables are such an important part of our diet, I want to talk about practical ways to increase your intake of this nutrient-rich, lower-carb food group. Wash and slice raw vegetables at the beginning of each week so they are ready to eat for meals and snacks. Keep salad greens on hand for a quick side to a meal. Batch cook a large amount of vegetables to last several meals. Try cooking vegetables in new ways, including riced cauliflower, riced beets, or spiralized zucchini or carrots. Add more vegetables to any recipe or meal you make, such as soups, casseroles, omelets, pasta, pizza, or sandwiches. We have talked a lot about carbohydrates, so now we're going to talk about protein. Protein helps to build and repair muscles, skin, and every cell in our body. Protein helps to stabilize blood glucose. While some glucose is produced during digestion, protein does not raise glucose. Protein helps you to stay feeling full and balances glucose when spread throughout the day. Think about including protein with meals and snacks. Protein is found in meats, poultry, eggs, fish, cheese, and beans and legumes. Remember, beans and legumes also contain carbs. The American Heart Association recommends eating fish, particularly fatty fish, at least 2 times per week to lower the risk of heart disease. Fatty fish like salmon, mackerel, herring, trout, sardines, and tuna are high in omega-3 fats. Omega-3 fats benefit the heart by reducing the risk of cardiovascular disease, reduce triglyceride levels, slow growth rate of plaque in the arteries, and lower blood pressure. A serving of meat, poultry, or fish is about 3 ounces cooked, or think about the size that would fit into the palm of your hand or the size of a deck of cards. In the past, there has been dietary advice to limit fat because it was unhealthy. We now know that it is more important to balance the type of fat rather than to eat everything low fat. Fat is an essential nutrient that supplies energy, part of every cell in our body, including your brain, which is about 60% fat. It's part of hormones that regulate body functions like blood pressure, immunity, clotting, and muscle contraction. Fat helps to transport and absorb nutrients, specifically fat-soluble vitamins. Fat takes longer to digest, so it leaves the stomach slowly and provides a feeling of fullness. Fat slows down how fast carbohydrate is converted into glucose. Fat does not raise glucose. Unsaturated fats have been found to lower LDL or bad cholesterol, triglycerides, and risk of heart disease. There are 2 kinds of unsaturated fats: monounsaturated and polyunsaturated fats. Monounsaturated fats include avocado, nuts, and oils such as olive, avocado, canola, and peanut oil. Polyunsaturated fats include margarine, salad dressings, seeds, mayonnaise, and oils such as corn, soybean, safflower, and flaxseed oils. Saturated fats and trans fat can raise LDL cholesterol and risk of heart disease. Saturated fats should be limited. These fats are solid at room temperature and include butter, lard, bacon, cream, canned coconut milk, sour cream, and solid shortening. Trans fats should be avoided. Most trans fats are made by adding hydrogen to a vegetable oil to turn it into a solid fat. Trans fat may be found in shortening, baked goods, stick margarine, and fried foods. The FDA has banned artificial trans fats from new food products. What we drink during the day is really important. Avoid drinking sweetened beverages such as juice, soda, lemonade, sweet tea, and sweetened coffee. These beverages usually contain added sugar and raise glucose quickly. A diet high in added sugar is directly associated with weight gain, inflammation, type 2 diabetes, and heart disease. Research shows that sugar can decrease beneficial bacteria in our gut. Work on drinking more water. Try fruit-infused water or sparkling water for other healthy options. Limit diet drinks. Diet drinks contain non-nutritive sweeteners or sugar substitutes and fewer than 10 calories per serving. Some research suggests an association with non-nutritive sweeteners and weight gain and a decrease of beneficial gut bacteria. Think of these as an occasional drink or a short-term replacement if weaning off sweetened beverages. This concludes part 2 of the presentation. In summary, carbohydrates raise blood glucose. Carbohydrates are starches, fruits, vegetables, milk, and yogurt. Use your plate or measuring cups to help control portions of carbohydrates. Include non-starchy vegetables, protein, and healthy fats with each meal. Think about the foods you eat most often and what food groups they fall into. Hopefully you now know the impact foods you commonly eat have on your blood glucose.